It's Kitty Anderson, your board-certified coach, working globally on menopause. Autoimmune is very common at menopause. In fact, 45% of women will have some autoimmune by the time they die. Build your action plan at jumpstartaip@gmail.com. My clients benefit from 5 years of research and all my ebooks. Hi again, it's Kitty Anderson. I am a board-certified menopause coach, and I'm creating this channel, Creative Menopause Recovery, to help you get through menopause, at least the transition into menopause. Today, I want to talk about how a few things that I've done for my autoimmune disease have also helped my autoantibodies. So that's a measure of your disease, right? And show you some results that I achieved. And it's pretty rare that we see results on paper, on some type of a metric, on some type of a test. It's really rare that we would get that kind of recovery. In autoimmune disease, we usually look at our symptoms, and that's similar to menopause. Menopause, we also look at our symptoms. And unfortunately, what happens often at menopause is an autoimmune disease is kick-started. Our genetics are flipped on. And it's sad that we struggle with autoimmune symptoms and menopause symptoms. But what I want to say is that the treatments that we use for both can overlap. And I have had some really successful treatments, so I want to go into that today. This will be a very short video. All I want to do is share these immediate results with you and talk to you a little bit about how you might be tracking your thyroid autoimmune disease. 80% of my clients are undiagnosed autoimmune. There is a metric that you can use called autoantibodies that can help you track your success on diet, your success with medications, your success with treatments like infrared therapy. So this will be quick. I just want to go through. I'm celebrating. It's rare that I get to celebrate something on paper, something that my diet is working, my treatments are working. So, all right, let's get into it. I share my 15-point plan for vitality. So Coco's here today. She's got her summer haircut. So we're going to talk a little bit about autoantibodies. So there's 140 autoimmune diseases. These are crazy. And so basically it means your immune system is weak. And so when you do things that strengthen your immune system, your autoantibodies go down, and that means the attack on your thyroid is reduced, and your symptoms will also go down. So this is an exciting thing. I've been tracking my autoantibodies on my thyroid for at least 10 years. I've been in the same hospital system, so they actually captured every single test result for the last 10 years. So I did some dramatic things to change my immune system in the last few years. So one thing you'll see on the chart is that in 2017, I added infrared red light therapy. If you don't feel premenopausal, keep looking for solutions. Remember that high autoantibodies means immune weakness. A product called Juve, and I'll show some links in the YouTube description. So I added that, and that was definitely immune strengthening. You'll see a big dip in my autoantibodies. And then I also added high dose HRT. So the high dose HRT started in 2020, and you'll see I've only had a couple measurements, but you'll see that my autoantibodies are at the lowest point in 10 full years. And in that 10 years, I did the autoimmune protocol diet. So I had the same diet basically. I also had a non-toxic medication called low-dose naltrexone. Coco, stop. So I'll put a link below for some information on low-dose naltrexone and a book on low-dose naltrexone. So it's non-toxic medication. It also strengthens your immune system. And it is recommended by the Stanford Pain Clinic. So as you can see, I'm feeling awesome these days. I have zero pain and I have an autoimmune disease. I have zero brain fog and I have an autoimmune disease. I have my HRT at a high enough dose to really boost my immune system. So I'm actually working against my genetics because I have the autoimmune genes. So what I'm doing is flipping those genes off. So my disease is not in an active state, and I'm absorbing nutrients, and I have no intestinal issues at all. In fact, I have no symptoms of autoimmune disease, zero. And you're going to see that my autoantibodies are so close to normal. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So let's look at this. Here we go. Treatment impact on autoantibodies. I started using high-dose estradiol and testosterone in 2020, and I continue to this present day. During this time frame of the last 10 years, I used the autoimmune protocol diet, low-dose naltrexone, and for a couple years, I used infrared and far-red therapy. You're going to see a difference in the light therapy and on the high-dose HRT. Let's review really quickly what estradiol HRT is going to do for your immune system. It activates your white blood cells. It reduces chances of all types of infections, including UTIs. It's good for avoiding cancer. It's good for avoiding an autoimmune disease. It's good for solving allergies. And it's good for resolving food sensitivities. Let's review what testosterone does for your immune system. It matures the immune cells. It reduces autoantibodies. It reduces parasites in your intestines. It is even a premenopausal therapy for autoimmune disease, strengthening the immune system. It's considered a postmenopausal therapy. If you have high estrogen without adding the testosterone, that will actually increase your parasites, like intestinal disorders. So don't do that. Thyroid autoimmune disease at menopause is very, very common, and the symptoms overlap. Low thyroid is actually autoimmune in nature. So if your doctor tells you you have low thyroid, you have an autoimmune disease. Thyroid symptoms will overlap with menopause. Please get your thyroid tested. Low thyroid also occurs with other autoimmune disease. So if you have an autoimmune disease before menopause, you want to get that thyroid checked. See my video on low thyroid on YouTube. So here's the graph of my autoantibodies. You can see it's kind of got a camel-like appearance with two humps in it. And the green lines, horizontal, are normal levels of autoantibodies. And you can see I'm above the normal levels. But at the same time, a lot of doctors will not consider it disease until you're up at 300. And my high here is only at 80. So during this entire 10-year time frame, I am on the autoimmune protocol. I am also on low-dose naltrexone for immune strengthening. The dip in the autoantibodies in 2017 was caused by the light therapy. I used a light therapy called Juve. And then you can see the second dip that came in 2022 was due to my high-dose HRT. I had actually stopped using the infrared therapy, and I was leaning heavily into the high-dose estradiol and high-dose testosterone. This was all immune boosting. I was actually able to broaden my diet out with fewer food sensitivities. Remember, a weak immune system ends up with food reactions. So this is what success looks like. For anyone with autoimmune disease, low autoantibodies is what we are shooting for. It is also accompanied by low symptoms. And as you know, I don't have any difficult symptoms. Now, I'd have to say that I did not get a great doctor telling me how to do this. I put these treatments together on my own. I took control of my HRT. I told my doctor what I wanted. So come for coaching and learn how to take control of your health. Clients learn 15 ways to get HRT. I also want to give you a little bit of information on Juve. Now, this is a product that I've used since 2017. I ended up buying a panel for my son. He really enjoys using mine. And for him, he says it gives him energy. And then for my daughter, who also has an autoimmune disease, I bought another panel for my daughter for her apartment so that she could feel better. She has an autoimmune disease, which she manages pretty carefully, but her energy is not all the way back to normal. She actually got COVID, so she's dealing with a little bit of those issues that you get when you've had COVID. So let's look at some of the information from Juve. Oh, I'm not getting a commission or anything. These are panels that I know work. This is something that I really know that it works. Light therapy is a generalized term. It's also known as red light and near infrared therapy. Those are the two wavelengths that I've been using. The brand I use is Joovv, Joovv, and this brand has been around at least since about 2015. They offer a money-back guarantee, so you have a 60-day return policy. They have financing available, and there's a 2-year warranty on the product. But as you can see, I've been using mine for 5 years with no problems whatsoever. I even feel a difference on small panels. Light therapy penetrates about an inch, and that's a couple of centimeters for everybody that's not American. You have to expose your skin to it. You could do 10 minutes on each side. My setup is on the floor, so I actually can watch something on my computer and do other things, pet my dogs, play with my dogs, all that kind of stuff. I have a large full body panel, and then I have a small panel at my head for hair retention. There's two wavelengths. One is 660 nanometer and one is 850. So if you're comparing products, it's just good to know what the wavelengths are. But there's a wide variety of wavelengths that have similar types of effects. Feel a mood boost and less pain each time. So here are the health benefits that Joovv lists at their website. So stimulating cellular energy. This isn't anything I can prove. Skin health. I can prove this. It did eliminate some precancerous spots. Reducing joint pain and inflammation. This I can definitely attest to, because when my HRT was at a low dose, I had a lot more inflammation. And so I could do this in the evening and go to bed with no pain at all. It helps athletes to recover. It has a special recovery mode. It optimizes sleep. It does increase your progesterone, and that will help your sleep. And then my daughter and I both say that it really helps us go to sleep. Improving blood flow. This is another thing I can't really tell you whether or not this is happening. But I do have less swelling. So I have some swelling behind my knees by the end of the day, and this really helps. Mental acuity, I cannot attest to this at all, but my younger son uses it, and he just bounces off the walls with happiness when he's done using it. So I think for different people, it's going to do different things. This is an example of my full body panel. Like I said, I have this laying down on the floor. So I'm basically on my side, exposing my body to it. I'm like a pancake. I do 10 minutes on one side and 10 minutes on another. This is expensive. It is costing about $5,000 just for this. This one is 51 inches by 18 inches, really covers most of your body, and does, like I said, has a 60-day return period. This is called a mini, and I have this at the top of my head. So my head is actually exposed for the full 20 minutes, and this has really helped keep my hair really thick. Apparently, female pattern baldness is a thinning at the part wherever you part your hair, and then also all across the top of your head. That's how women bald. They don't have the men's receding hairline. So I didn't realize this would be great for retention of hair, but my hairdresser says it's really working. She can feel a difference on the top of my head and then also on the back of my head, which is exposed to the full body panel when I turn around. I know that you want details before you make a big purchase like this. So let's dig deep. So this is from some key research articles and a book on photobiomodulation, which is near red and red light therapy. So skip this part if you don't love details. If you love details, here's the latest and greatest. It strengthens the immune system. My autoantibodies were cut by 62% with the use of light therapy. Dig into the details here if you're interested in making your brain health the best that it can be. Brain cells are stimulated and regenerated. Some of these items are directly from research, and many of these I have experienced. It eliminates precancerous skin lesions, especially with a high vitamin A diet like the autoimmune protocol. It lowers autoantibodies and autoimmune symptoms with the AIP diet. Hair growth, mental acuity and focus, eliminates swelling, enhances digestion, eliminates pain and stiffness, appears to be a cancer prevention treatment, deepens sleep, boosts mood. It is a mold recovery treatment. It reverses menopause for infertile women just entering menopause. It resolved post-operative or post-surgery cognitive problems, which often lead to a decline in memory for elderly patients. It alleviates pain, inflammation, protects your brain cells from toxins, eliminates destructive varicosities and focal swellings, benefits eyesight, macular degeneration, benefits cardiac conditions, prevents diabetic retinopathy or blindness, and even helps with weight loss. How does it work? Well, it hits you on the cellular level. You'll feel it each and every time. It works on inflammation, cell regeneration, epigenetic repair. That means your DNA. This is getting down to your DNA and fixing things that have gone wrong. Another very recent study used near-infrared with long COVID patients, and it improved all aspects of their damaged immune function and their lung function. They had a very strong result with this test, and so this is becoming part of long COVID therapy. So here's the book if you want to dig deep, Photobiomodulation in the Brain, and this is by Michael Hamlin, and he is the expert. I've even seen interviews with him. So he says the home use market is the most likely usage model. Hospitals and doctors can't make money on this. It's inexpensive, doesn't take up much space. V-Light is the only product mentioned in this entire book. There are intranasal options to avoid the issues with skull penetration. It's comparable to exercise in enhancing brain health and thinking. Relaxed feelings show that it's working. It activates fat cells, causing less damage to the metabolics. Enhances attention and short-term memory, and use on the body also enhances your brain health. Another type of sauna is called far infrared sauna, and it is an alternative to moderate exercise, especially useful for patients who can't exercise. So that's my good news on autoimmune. If you want more information about my ebooks, my courses, and my coaching, please email me at jumpstartaip@gmail.com. And if you think this is useful for somebody, please share these videos. We're trying to help our sisters. All right, good to see you. Bye-bye.